Hello, everyone. Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for spending your afternoon with us by attending this webinar entitled Bonds 101 Retail Treasury Bond Explained. So, how are you feeling right now? Type 1 if you are feeling great. Type 2 if you are feeling excited. Let me just check the chat box, or rather, the question and answer panel portion. So, we have Winnie who is excited or rather feeling great right now. Let me check the chat box as well. So we have tons of one, two, and one and two. So it's really great to see all of you feeling great and excited for this afternoon session. By the way, I am Monneth Pangatungan, Visayas Business Development and Market Education Officer of First Metro Securities. It is the stock brokerage arm of Metro Bank. And our company is dedicated to promote financial literacy and create awareness on investment opportunities to empower individuals like you and me and even institutions to attain the financial goals. And we envision to be the largest and most trusted Philippine investment solutions partner. It is my honor and pleasure to serve you today. So just like this event, we used to conduct our session on site and face to face, but due to pandemic, we shifted to a webinar format. We are glad that we are still in collaboration with our public institutions like Bureau of the Treasury and Pag-ibig, even academic institutions and private institutions. And recently, we are back on site and even with our hybrid session. So it's really great, no? That how technology enables us to add value wherever you are located right now. So let me just check. Where are you currently watching this webinar? So me, I am currently in Lapu-Lapu City in the island of Mactan. So anyone? Oh, we have from Valencia City, Bukidnon, Baguio. We have from Vietnam, Doha, Qatar, QC, Laguna, Antipolo, Davao. Wow, Cavite, Laguna, so all over the Philippines and even outside. So we have China, Singapore. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. And you might wonder why we do what we do here in First Metro Securities. So actually, we want more Filipinos to maximize the opportunity in investing. So we acknowledge that this is the demographics of the stock market investors here in the Philippines as of 2022. So for a country of over 100 million in population, there are only 1.71 million stock market accounts. So most of them at 1.2 million have online accounts. And according to the latest BSP Financial Inclusion Survey, 64% of the Filipinos do not invest. So majority of the Filipinos are not able to take advantage of investing, whether investing in pooled funds, stocks, or bonds. So this is the very reason why the market education of FirstMetroSec together with the Bureau of the Treasury do what we do, educating more Filipinos. And just to share, we want Filipinos to understand that as individuals, we can only do so much. Because at times we need to recharge, we also need to unwind, and from time to time, even if we give our bodies enough time to recover and pamper them with rest and relaxation, sometimes we still end up getting sick. Again, because we can only do so much. There are actually things that we can avoid only if we make our money do the heavy lifting. Because if we are able to invest our money, it's going to continue working 24 hours a day. Because money does not need to sleep, money does not need to relax, it won't even ask for weekends off, it won't go on vacation, and because no matter how hard it works, money does not get sick. And you'll only be able to make your money do these things if you make little sacrifices to free up money to invest. So you can only receive multiple streams of income if you create multiple sources of income. So it's better to equip you with the information to make good investment decision. So financial freedom is available to those who learn about it and work for it, as quoted by Robert Kiyosaki. That's why we continued our financial literacy webinar. And for this afternoon, we figured it would be best to tag expert along. We are honored to have the head of the research service of the Bureau of the Treasury, Mr. Robert Dominic E. Mariano. He oversees the provision of technical support to Treasury operations and policy formulation. He is responsible for the conduct of market, fiscal, and debt monitoring and oversees the analysis and release of the government fiscal and debt statistics. Mr. Mariano is also part of the various interagency working groups, including those under the Development Budget Coordination Committee, wherein he manages the drafting of the country's report on fiscal risk exposure. Mr. Mariano started his career at the Department of Finance as part of the Debt and Risk Management Office of the International Finance Group. Prior to working for the department, he taught economics at the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. Let's all welcome Director Dominic Mariano. The virtual floor is yours, Director Doms.
Good afternoon. Thank
Good
you, Monneth.
afternoon.
And once again, well, it's not just First Metro, but of course, the Treasury is thankful for this opportunity to partner with such a reliable and, of course, well-known institution towards, of course, advancing financial literacy and awareness, of course, around investments, and of course, improving and trying to contribute to improving the way of life, not only for all Filipinos. So I think we'll just jump straight right into it. Let me just share my presentation. Okay. Okay. Just a moment. Wait a minute. Huh? I'd just like to check. Do you see my screen right now, Ms. Monneth?
Yes po.
Okay. So this afternoon, we're talking about bonds, and later on, we'll try to segue into the latest issuance mula po sa Bureau of the Treasury. We hope that you've heard about our latest offering, yung mga tinatawag natin na retail treasury bonds. But before that, so it's useful or we should be on the same page, ika nga. Okay, I just hope na hindi ako I'm navigating. Let me know if I'm lagging, Miss Monneth, okay?
Director Doms, pwede
Yes?
po on slideshow na version. I think makikita pa yung sa notes sa other side ng presentation.
Okay, sorry. How's that?
Hindi pa rin po. Nakikita pa rin po yung slide sa left side.
Okay, just a moment. Okay, how about now?
Hmm, hindi, sir. Presenter's view po yung nakikita.
Okay, okay. Sorry. Uh, I get it. Sorry. Last one. There we go.
Hindi pa rin po, Director
Yan.
Doms. Not the presentation view. Hold po,
Saglit lang. Sorry. Hmm. Let me try this one. Okay. How's that?
Yes, Director Doms.
Okay. So as I mentioned, it's first useful to set the understanding or to lay the groundwork. What are bonds? Or plainly, bonds are debt instruments. Ito po ay pagkakautang ng national government. And of course, it has several features which we will go over throughout this presentation. So it's useful to know some of the terms. First, we have yung face value, which is the amount that is expected to be repaid to the bondholders upon maturity. You know, interchangeably, we can also use the term principal. This basically denotes how much was the initial investment in the instrument. A bond is of course a fixed rate investment which matures. So meron pong tinatawag na settlement date. It is the period or the date wherein the bond gets transferred to the issuer in exchange for the bond holdings of the investors. Upon maturity, of course, that principal amount is returned to the investor, and yung length of time between the settlement and the maturity, ito po yung tinatawag natin na tenor ng bonds. For the Philippine government, we are allowed a maximum of 25 years, 25-year issuance. Yun po yung limit natin. And usually, bonds would have a minimum tenor of anything more than 1 year. Okay? Anything less than 1 year, ito po yung tinatawag natin na Treasury bills. Of course, these bonds promise to pay a fixed amount which is denoted by the coupon. So the coupon rate, that is the interest paid by the bond to its investors. And usually, this is quoted on an annual basis. Okay? And the coupon, hindi naman po siya, although it is quoted annually, yung sinasabi na how much is the rate, the frequency upon which that coupon is paid usually varies. Yung sa ating usual issuance, the coupon is semi-annual. But for more retail-oriented bonds, yung mga special issuances, we even have what we call, or we even have quarterly repayment or payment ng coupon. The price is, of course, how much the investors pay or receive when they buy or sell an outstanding bond, and the yield will be the total return from holding a bond at any given time. So there's this distinction, of course, when we talk about bonds. There are corporate bonds and there are, national government bonds. Before we go to retail treasury bonds, I know it's what's mentioned there in the slides. But of course, the main difference between corporate bonds and government bonds is the issuer. Okay? And what makes this significant is, of course, the risk profile of that issuer. In the domestic market, meaning the peso or the capital market we have here in the country, of course, the national government is the default risk-free issuer. Okay, default risk-free. Okay, meaning yung chance po na hindi kayo mababayaran is virtually zero. Okay, because of course, itong mga bonds na to, yung mga securities issued by the national government, has the full financial backing of the national government. Whereas corporate bonds will of course be, meron po siyang risk that is of course given the nature of corporations wherein there would have a chance or there's the possibility na they may run into some financial trouble or some other problems. Okay, so in terms of returns, kung i-compare natin, traditionally, sinasabi nga natin, risk equates to returns. So it would mean na yung mga corporate bonds would have a higher risk profile and therefore usually have a higher coupon commensurate to the risk that is being taken on by investors. Now, aside from the national government's usual issuances, meron po tayong mga special issuance at dito na po pumapasok yung retail treasury bonds. What makes the RTB program unique is, of course, we try to tap yung mga small and medium as well as other funds which would usually have difficulty or medyo limited yung kanilang exposure do sa normal issuances. How do we do that? By making it more accessible to the general public. Usually, retail treasury bonds are offered for as low as 5,000 pesos and in increments of 5,000 pesos thereafter. And for some of our issuances, I don't think it's here in the slide, yung campaign for that, it can even go down to as low as 500 pesos. Back in 2019 and 2020, I believe that, or 2020, 2021, when we issued yung tinatawag natin na premium bonds. So, okay, looking at some of the characteristics here, okay, we mentioned that it is a debt security, it's a debt issuance. Let me just highlight some key differences. Okay, siguro ang what we haven't touched upon is the interest rate. Of course, bonds can either be a fixed rate bond, like what we issue here in the Treasury, or a floating rate security. Usually, again, for the Treasury, we issue fixed rate securities. So regardless of what market conditions are, you as an investor get to or enjoy a fixed return on your investment. Okay, so I think we discussed much of the features here, and this will be discussed in in the details of our latest issuance, the Retail Treasury Bond Tranche 30. So why invest in the RTB? Let me just go quickly over some of its key features. First of all, for safety, okay? We can look at the RTBs or the treasury bonds as a security which is more suited for conservative investors, or pwede rin to sa mga those who are just starting out, okay, learning about the basics of investing in securities, okay, and offering a low risk investment product such as RTBs helps make it a good option, okay, for those who are seeking siguro stability in their finances. And the one feature I think that makes the RTBs more rewarding as well is that it's a secure, again, a safe and a secure investment, but compared to its risk-free characteristic, the returns are also relatively higher. Maybe I'll go through this later, but since the main audience or the main market that we are looking for or we are trying to tap with the RTBs are the general public, we try to make it more rewarding, okay, as an investment product. Usually, of course, the Treasury tries to manage the interest or the coupon rate that we pay on our debt securities. After all, we're all going to pay this over the life, or we, meaning the government, have to pay the interest on these instruments over its life. So we try to manage the coupon that we rate during our auction setting exercise. But since, again, we are trying to reach out to retail investors, meaning yung mga small investors, we try to make it more rewarding. And so we try to give a little premium to the RTB when it comes to the rate, the interest that is being offered. And the RTBs are now more accessible than ever. It used to be that RTBs or bonds would only be accessible via over-the-counter transactions with your selling agent banks. But since 2019, 2018, the Treasury has increased its digital reach we have a mobile bank, or we have a mobile investment platform in our website, www.treasury.gov.ph. Usually there's a when there's a primary offering, there is a microsite there. You can just click that link. It will give you all of the information regarding the offering. And when you're ready to order, if you have, or if you are a client, or if you have an account with any of the following banks: China Bank, FirstMetroSec, Land Bank of the Philippines, and DBP, I believe, then you can already take advantage of that online ordering facility. I think there are questions. I think you may post it in chat, and Ms. Monneth will kindly take note of any questions. And if I may add, sa accessibility ng retail treasury bonds, aside from our website, there's also, of course, the mobile banking applications of Land Bank and Overseas Filipino Bank, and the bonds.ph mobile application. And lastly, these RTBs, what makes it worth investing, or what makes it a worthwhile investment, is of course yung tinatawag natin na social dividends. When we invest, of course, usually the benefits all accrue to the individual investor. But here, since we are funding the priority programs and projects of the national government through our investments, then the returns go beyond our simple, or goes beyond us as individuals, because it will be the nation that benefits from the utilization of the funds raised by the Treasury. Okay, so we already went through some of these objectives. We finance the national government's priority projects, but also in issuing these retail treasury bonds, we diversify our funding sources. So hindi lang po yung investor ang nagda-diversify ng kanilang portfolio. The national government also diversifies its funding source by reaching out once again, trying to widen or increase yung ating investor base. And when we tap these small investors, when we set them off in their investment journey, we help promote financial literacy and inclusion. Kailangan kasi meron tayong bank account para makapag-invest tayo sa RTBs. And this will also hopefully promote yung mga exercises kagaya nito can help promote financial literacy. And lastly, or most especially, help develop the Philippine capital market by providing tradable instruments and encouraging market activity. As to the benefits, we already mentioned, it has the full sovereign backing of the national government, low risk, higher yields, particularly if you compare it with similarly rated instruments. When you compare instruments, it's important na we compare apples to apples. Okay? So when we say default risk-free, and given the feature na bonds return your principal if you hold it to maturity, you can compare it, let's say, to your time deposits. Okay, if you look at time deposits, what are the returns? Maybe 2% at most if you have a big, especially if you have a big investment. But here in the RTBs, for example, we follow market rates. So for a 5-year RTB, just like what was issued earlier this afternoon, the annual or the coupon is currently at I believe it's 6.25%. And the RTBs have a more frequent cash flow. It offers quarterly payments, it's affordable, and it's easily accessible. I already mentioned this. How can you access the RTBs? You have your authorized selling agents. I have a list later on. You have the online ordering facility of the BTR through our website. If you are an account holder of the following banks: Land Bank, DBP, China Bank, and First Metro. And we also have app-based channels: the mobile banking application of the Land Bank, OF Bank, and the bonds.ph. So this brings us to RTB 30. I was mentioning that we just issued this afternoon, and we are actually kicking off yung offer period for RTB 30. This carries the theme, kaagapay mo sa buhay. We already went through this. The issuer is the Bureau of the Treasury or the national government through the Bureau of the Treasury. The tenor, okay, so na-refresh yung ating vocabs na we went through earlier. It has a 5-year maturity, maturing in 2029. And it carries an annual gross interest of 6.25%. Interest payments are paid quarterly, and the issue managers are the DBP Land Bank, BDO Capital, BPI Capital, China Bank Capital, First Metro Investment Corporation, PNB Capital, and Union Bank. Eligible investors, of course, we try to maximize individual participation, but it is also open to corporates, cooperatives, retirement funds, provident funds, other people's funds. Minimum investments will be 5,000, and being a government issuance or a form of passive income, it is subject to 20% withholding tax on interest income. But of course, ang exemption lang dito ay yung mga tax-exempt institutions. Usually, ito yung merong mga valid tax-exempt status na certificate from the BIR. In addition to the offering, there's also a bond exchange program. So currently, kung kayo po ay nag-invest ng RTB 25 or ng RTB 22, ito ay, for example, yung RTB 25 had a coupon of 2.375, yung RTB 22 had a coupon of 6.25, maturing in March. Meron po tayong ino-offer na bond exchange. Meaning yung mga holders ng eligible bonds na yon can exchange their current holdings into the new RTB 30. And the exchange ratio, okay, we have here in the lower slide here, is 1:1, meaning plain exchange. And it can only be done over the counter of the bank where you made your investment. Okay. Key dates to remember for RTB 30, the kickoff or the launch date is now, February 30, and the offer period will run until February 23 unless earlier terminated by the BTR. Pag na-hit na po natin yung critical volume. Okay, so aside from those banks I've mentioned before or those other channels, if you want to approach any of the authorized selling agents, you can, or on the slide right now are the list of those who qualified. So ANZ, Asia United, Banco de Oro, Bank of Commerce, BDO Capital, BPI Capital, China Bank, Citibank, Development Bank, East West Bank, FMIC, ING, Land Bank, Maybank, Metro Bank, Philippine Bank of Communications, PNB, RCBC, Security Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, Sterling Bank of Asia, HSBC, and Union Bank of the Philippines. So virtually anywhere na may banko, perhaps you can make an investment or you can approach a selling agent. So lastly, for more information on the Treasury as well as our offerings, you can follow our Facebook page at Treasury PH. Visit our website, treasury.gov.ph. You can, if you have any concerns regarding government securities, you have the GS support at treasury.gov.ph. There's the BTR mobile app. So hindi pa siya investment app, but it's more of a centralized information hub on anything and everything about the Treasury. You can download that. And this is particularly useful, I guess, for those who are starting out in investing. We have a financial literacy, actually it's not a mobile app yet, financial literacy web app. Okay, you can go to the Philly web page, which is phillyapp.treasury.gov.ph. There are modules there to let you know ano ang characteristic mo as an investor. It helps you determine or program cash flows and later on decide on what instruments can better suit you as an investor. So go check that out. I guess that's all, or I hope that is sufficient. And I turn you over back to Monneth for the remainder of the program. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much, Director Doms. So let me just reshare my screen po. Hold on for a second. There you have it. So I know a lot of you guys have questions already. Nakikita ko na pumuputok na yung Q&A na Zoom panel. So later on the Q&A session, we will have Director Doms answer your questions live. So let's have first Director Doms have his water break po. And while waiting, allow me to introduce First Metro Securities. So over the past years, we've managed to grow our business because we were able to expand our products and services from stocks to exchange traded funds to REITs, pooled funds, and bonds by way of our FundSmart to give Filipinos a multi-asset investment universe so that we can cater to beginners, intermediate, and seasoned investors. So just a short comparison lang po between bonds and equities. Unlike bonds, equities do not provide fixed interest income, but rather dividend payout, subject also to withholding tax. But it's not fixed. So that dividend is depending on the publicly listed company if they will give or not, if they will provide dividends or not to their stockholders or shareholders. So if you are a shareholder or a stockholder, you are considered a part owner of a company. When you have a bond or you have RTB, you are actually lending money to the corporate or to the government. So both bonds and stocks may depreciate and appreciate in the market value, meaning tumataas po siya or bumababa yung market value niya if traded in the secondary market. So just to share po, previously we have joined also different RTB offerings. We have RTB 29 and RDB 2. So all of this could be availed via the online facility of the Bureau of the Treasury if you have a FirstMetroSec account. So personally, I have invested in both RTB 29 and RDB 2. And just today, we're on RTB 30. So what you will do in investing through FirstMetroSec, you just need to go to www.firstmetrosec.com.ph, fill out the online form, and indicate First Metro Securities Brokerage Corporation as the settlement bank. So you pay through First Metro Security. You will be redirected to the First MetroSec payment page. You need to enter your username and password. You need to read and agree to the notice of offering, authorization, and investor undertaking. And lastly, you confirm your order. You need to review the payment details and click confirm. So you wait for the notice of successful payment in your registered email address. So if you still don't have a First MetroSec account, you can easily open a First MetroSec account. Just download First MetroSec Go app. You can download it via Play Store or Apple Store. Click sign up, and then you need to accomplish the online forms and upload the necessary documents. Those documents include government issued ID, proof of residence. So for proof of residence, you have utility bills, and then proof of bank account, tax identification number, and proof of your initial deposit. Plus, you need to take a selfie. And please don't forget, during the account opening procedure, when you were asked, how did you learn about us? Kindly click seminar or event and type RTB30. So other way of opening a First MetroSec account is via our website. Just search www.firstmetrosec.com.ph, and then you still need to accomplish the form, upload the necessary documents, and also indicate the seminar code RTB30. So I will show to you the account opening procedure. Let me just share my audio.
Trading on the go? Here's First MetroSec Go for you. Easily open your account today with this app. You can download the First MetroSec Go app through Play Store or App Store for free. If you already have it on your device, simply open the app and click Sign Up Now. Next, you need to create a user ID, read and agree to the terms, and provide these information. Once you're done, click the link on the email verification sent. Now, let's complete your account application. First, input your account information. Then, provide your user information. Next, accomplish the investor profile form. Almost there! Read and agree to the terms and conditions. Then click Agree. You will then receive your reference number through the app. Don't forget to save this number because you will need it for your initial deposit. Next, upload or take a photo of these requirements. 1 valid ID, 3 signatures on a piece of white paper, proof of address, and proof of bank account. If you're self-employed, there are additional requirements. Now let's fund your account. You can make your initial deposit through bills payment, online fund transfer, over-the-counter deposit, or remittance. The minimum 5,000 pesos or $100 can be used to invest in stocks, funds, and bonds. There is no maintaining balance required. Next, you will need to verify your identity. Simply take a photo of your ID and take a selfie. You're all set. An email confirmation will be sent to you in 2 to 3 business days. Happy trading! For more information, visit our help center at help.firstmetrosec.com.ph.
So that's how you open a First MetroSec account via First MetroSec Go or the application. And
Trading
here
on the go?
is the via website.
Here's FirstMetroSec Go for you. Easily open your account.
Let me just share the website via our comment section. Anyways, we are also in social media, so you can follow us in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Viber. I would also like to invite you guys if for our webinar tomorrow with Pag-ibig entitled Love Your Future, a Valentine's Day webinar on smart money management with Pag-ibig Fund, and also with our Fund Smart Learning series on February 21 and February 28. So a link for registration link will be shared to you via chat box. And lastly, for our customized, gamified, award-winning market education programs exclusively designed for your company, school, or organization, just send us a formal invite via marketeducation@firstmetrosec.com.ph. So at this juncture, may I once again call our speaker to turn on his mic and camera as we accommodate any questions you may have. So for those who still have a lot of questions, you may simply write them in the designated Q&A section of the platform, and we will try to get through as many as we can. For those who can't make the cut because of time constraints, we will answer offline. So we have tons of questions here. For the
Miss
first
Monneth,
question, yes, Sir Dom, Director Doms.
if I can choose one question, then perhaps this will answer some of the other
Sige.
subsequent items
Okay.
already.
Sure.
Because there's a question here. Can I
Mhm.
share my screen?
Hold. I'll stop sharing. Okay.
Okay. There's a question here regarding okay, wait a minute. Ito na naman. Okay, now can you see my screen? Okay,
Yes,
let me go back to the website of the BTR. Okay,
mm-mm.
do you see? You should see the website of the BTR.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a question through the chat na how to compute yung return ng investment sa 1 million na investment.
Mm-mm.
Okay, first you click on the banner ng RTB 30. Oops. Nope, wrong banner. RTB 30, and it brings you to this microsite. This microsite contains all of the information I shared earlier, so you can browse it at your convenience. But it also has an investment calculator. So for example, if you have a 1 million investment, so meron lang siyang time deposit, ang return 1.125. So the return on your 1 million investment after 5 years is already 250,000 at 6.25%. How do you compute yung return? Okay, kunin mo yung face value, 1 million, i-multiply mo ng 6.25%, and then you multiply that by 0.8. Bakit 0.8? Kasi yung sa 6.25, which is the gross rate, merong 20% na withholding tax, meaning ang net interest or net coupon redounds to around 4.9, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. Sorry, mental math lang. 6.25 times
5%.
5%. Sorry. Kaya nga siya umano. Okay, mali base. 5%. Kaya per year, ang interest that you will earn sa 1 million ay 50,000. Divide that 50,000 by 4, so you should get 12,500. Right? 12,000. Sorry. Yeah, 12,500. That is the interest that you will earn per quarter. Okay, yun yung 12,500 will be the interest earned per quarter, and then annually 50,000. Over 5 years, it will be 250,000. So once again, you may already browse the website why you should invest, how to invest with the participating banks. Na doon yung mga information. Tapos pag ready na po tayo, meron diyang, you just click that you're ready to invest, and then there are the online ordering facilities. The first option, yung China Bank, FirstMetroSec, DBP at Land Bank, bonds.ph, or yung ordering facility ng OF Bank. So narito na po sa site lahat ng information that we need. Okay, so we can go back siguro dun sa other questions. I hope that it answers already a lot of what some of your queries.
So, how about this, Director Doms? Comparing Pag-ibig MP2 and RTB, which is more recommended for long-term or long investment horizon?
Okay, let me browse. I think dun sa recent, chinek ko to recently eh. Where is that? Yung MP2 kasi, which is also a very good or an attractive instrument. In 2022, the dividend payout for the MP2 was 7%. Okay? Variable siya. There were years na umabot siya ng 8%. Tapos, depende siya sa performance, of course, nung Pag-ibig. Right? Kaya, there were years na, let's say, hindi naman ganoon kadami yung housing starts or yung mga nag-avail ng facility. For example, in 2020, 2021, it went down to 6%. So, variable rate siya. Ang bonds ay fixed rate. Now, alam ko, hindi naman tayo lahat siguro na, or iba't iba tayo. There are some of us who are just starting out, okay, and can already, of course, it's your choice where you will invest, of course, kung saan maganda ang returns. Ang advantage of the RTB is that aside from the safety that it affords, or aside from the certainty na babalik po yung ating investment, it is fixed. Yung returns mo or yung interest ay fixed. Hindi siya nagbabago. Kung tayo naman po ay siguro, what you would say, savvy or medyo sanay na tayo sa investing or meron yung funds natin are now sufficient, pwede na po tayong tinatawag natin na mag-diversify. Ibig sabihin nito, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diba? Pag ikaw nag-invest, meron kang part of your portfolio na you reserve for safety or yung tinatawag natin na pag-maintain or preserve ng ating wealth. And there's a certain section of your portfolio which you use for earning. Okay? Again, ang MP2 naman, hindi naman siya kagaya siguro ng ibang investments na ganun ka-severe yung swings. Like equities, perhaps, di ba? Kasi housing yung yung covered ng MP2. So, one basic necessity yon. But again, yun yung depende sa atin as an investor. Iba't iba po tayo, depende sa estado natin sa buhay, whether we are a young investor or we are craving stability. There are advantages to both, and it really depends upon you as an investor, yung preference natin. Where do we place our money?
Yes, I agree, Director Dom. So it depends talaga. What is your purpose? If you want continuous stream of income that you receive quarterly, then RTB 30 is perfect for you. But if you want your interest to be compounded like the MP2 that you can choose after 5 years lang ba makukuha, then MP2 would be perfect for you. But it's better to have both, as what you've said, Director Doms. It's better to have diversification. So, moving on to the next question, very common questions po. Is it possible to withdraw your investment at any time?
Okay, through the RTBs, it's a security. Hindi, although kino-compare natin yung returns niya sa time deposits, hindi siya kagaya ng time deposit na ito-terminate mo tapos possibly may pre-termination fees. RTBs as an investment to recoup or to get back your investment before maturity, you will have to sell your holdings. Okay? And dito na po nagiging strategic. Dapat tayo maging strategic. Kasi after the primary offer period, yung price po ng bond will of course vary in the secondary market. So pag binenta natin siya, dito na po tayo na-expose dun sa market prices. Okay? Of course, kung premium po siya, kung tumaas ang presyo, then we have earned from our investment. Pero kung mas mababa siya when compared to when you bought it, then meron kang possible loss. But of course, i-compare mo to sa other earnings that you might have already gotten. Another feature din, I think I didn't touch upon this. Kaya po yung RTB ay nasa 3-year, 5-year, at most siguro 7 or 10 years. Kasi as a small investor, we know na yung ating planning horizon might not be that long. Like institutional investors, gaya ng mga GSIS or SSS. So we try to make the RTB, again, very accommodating to individuals by making the planning horizon or the investment horizon manageable. So 5 years. If you wish to get, again, your investment before that, then you have to sell your holdings of the RTB, and active naman po ang market for RTBs, so it should be readily mabebenta mo rin kaagad yung holdings.
Yes, so you can sell your RTB if you want to get back your invested money, but of course, it must be at a prevailing market value subject to transaction charges. Yun siya. So that's what you need to note. Next question po. Can we see the underlying assets that this RTB specifically invest in? In the previous RTB offerings, how liquid is the secondary market?
Okay. Ang liquidity naman po ng isang investment, of course, depends upon of course what type of instrument, how attractive it is, and looking at yung volume that we are issuing, substantial naman. Kumbaga may benchmark liquidity volume para na ino-offer sa RTB. And actually, if we look at, well, sorry, I just don't have the data with me, pero we see na there is, depending upon the market conditions, of course, kung saan yung active na segment ng ating curve. Meaning, ano ba yung nagte-trade? di ba? Looking at where we are right now, of course, we're on a period of recovery. Very short up to the medium term pa lamang po yung nakikita natin na very active yung market. Usually, yung long term nandiyan din, but of course, that's more for your institutional investors. So looking at, once again, why we offer this RTB in this tenor is because it allows us to be more accommodating to individual investors. Yung question, sorry, I didn't get the other question, Ms. Monneth. Liquidity and the other question. Underlying assets.
Oh yes, underlying asset po.
The RTB, government bonds in general, as a funding exercise for the national government, it funds all of the projects. Okay? Hindi po siya naka-earmark. Siya ay pumapasok doon sa ating general fund kung tawagin. Yung general fund, dito po nagdodraw yung lahat ng items na nakapaloob doon sa GAA or yung annual appropriations or annual budget ng gobyerno. So, kaya nga po sinasabi natin na kaagapay yung RTB because it helps fund in vital infrastructure, health, education, and of course, our efforts to revive or to bring back yung economy towards its growth trajectory.
Thank you for that, Director Dom. So we have another question regarding fees or charges in buying RTBs. Are there fees or charges in buying RTBs?
Okay, there should be no fees or charges during the primary offer period. Okay. That is also one of the reasons why we heavily encourage our investors to access the digital platforms since dito po talagang very transparent naman na walang charge. Wala ka na ring kailangang isipin about going to your bank or going to your and also there are questions here. Of course, some of the financial institutions will have varying guidelines as to investments. There might be some, okay, or of course, nagra-ration or might not even offer. Okay, some banks, if you go, minsan naka-centralize lang to some branches. But the advantage of going online is that first, all of the fees there are no fees. And next, yung amount that you order is readily available. Of course, subject to yung availability pa ng bond. Kaya buy now, diba? Go out there. And yeah, that's it. Yung availability lang. It's better if you invest online.
Next question, Director Doms. Can I put additional fund anytime after the initial investment or do I need to wait another announcement as to when to add?
You can add anytime. Yeah, best if you do it during the offer period since at par pa yung price. After the offer period, you can, of course, wala nang ini-issue. If you want to add to your investment, you have to buy from those who are selling their holdings. So once again, subject to availability and market price.
Next question, Director Doms. Is it allowed to open 2 RTBs with different banks with the same account name?
As long as it's different banks, yes. There should be no restriction. Even if it's with the same bank, let's say you have separate accounts. Ang importante lang naman po rito kaya may account kailangan sa bangko kasi dito po i-debit yung initial investment and then dito rin i-credit yung interest at saka yung principal upon maturity.
So thank you for that, Director Doms. Another question. I noticed that the tenor of RTB 30 was reduced to 5 years compared to the previous one which have a tenor of 5.5 years. Any reason for the shorter investment term?
Actually, when we issue securities, of course, the national government programs yung ating debt maturity. Tinitingnan po natin kung kailan natin siya kailangan bayaran. Alam po natin na during the pandemic, most of our issuances centered on those 3 5-year tenor buckets. Nobody, or of course, the market was not really very receptive of longer tenors. So right now, we're programming our maturities versus yung mga tinatawag natin siya sa debt management na towers. Ito yung mga principal repayments. So kaya siya 5.5 previously kasi malaki na yung babayaran in the year. So pinatawid lang siya ng isang period to make it manageable for the national government to program yung ating financing requirement. So ito naman, 5-year. So ibig sabihin, manageable pa yung repayment, yung ating repayment requirement sa 2029.
I'll take this last two questions, Director Doms. Is retail dollar bond also coming after this?
Retail dollar bonds.
Mm-hmm.
RDB2 was last year.
Yes.
This may related question dyan kanina yung premium bonds. Okay? Actually, RTBs, premium bonds, the retail program in general is what we call a special issuance. So all of these are subject to market requirement or yung market demand and of course market conditions. Whether it's advantageous to the Treasury to issue these securities. So masasabi ko lang po dyan ay please follow us sa Facebook page namin and our website to get the latest announcements whenever there are. And usually naman meron namang mga within the banks. Mag-subscribe po kayo doon sa Viber group ni FirstMetroSec since they offer tips at saka mga leaks siguro pag meron silang mga naririnig na upcoming issuance ng Treasury. So maririnig nyo rin po yan sa kanila.
Thank you, Director Dom. Thank you for gamely answering those questions po. Since our time is almost over, let me just reshare my screen. There you have it. Okay. So that sums up our Q&A session. Thank you so much for all of your questions. And of course, thank you very much for our speaker, Director Doms, for gamely answering those questions. And for the participants, we also value your feedback. You can share your thoughts and experiences with us by scanning the QR code and answering our feedback form. Your input is essential to helping us improve our services and better meet your needs. We appreciate your contribution and look forward to implementing positive changes based on your valuable feedback. So you can scan the QR code or check the chat box for the link. But before we end our session, I'll call again Director Doms for his parting words.
Okay, sorry, I was answering some of the questions pa. But once again, we hope that you take advantage of this new issuance, the RTB30. Of course, it's a milestone issuance. It's the 30th tranche of the retail bond program, which started in 2001. So, much has been said already, but aside from that, I'd just like to emphasize that, of course, all of these funding exercises of the national government is meant to support national growth and, of course, yung priority projects and programs which are meant to address yung ating welfare as well as other growth requirements for the nation. So look beyond, as Secretary Recto mentioned earlier in his speech. This encourages us to look beyond the individual returns, but also consider once again the social dividends of investing. Since this is really an exercise not only for our personal accounts, but in nation building. So once again, thank you very much. Thank you, Monneth. Thank you for FirstMetroSec for hosting this. And we hope that this sets off everyone into a fruitful investing journey of investing and saving journey.
Thank you so much, Director Dom. So from RTB, fresh from the RTB 30 launch pa yan si Director Doms, and he really had the time to be here with us. So there you have it. Once again, on behalf of First Metro Securities Brokerage Corporation, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to Director Doms of the Bureau of the Treasury for gracing us with his time and presence. It is truly an afternoon well spent. Thank you also to everyone who attended this afternoon. We sincerely hope you have learned a lot and that these insights and lessons will make your investment investment journey not just more profitable but also more enjoyable. We hope to see you again in our future learning events because over here at First Metro Securities, we put your future first. Have a great afternoon or evening, everyone. Bye.